Welcome to closing night of the Vail Dance Festival's digital edition. I'm Damian Wetzel, director of the festival, and I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. And I hope you've joined us for some of the other programs we've aired over the last days. But I am happy to tell you that you can find those programs for the next week at vaildance.org, so you can revisit those extraordinary artists who every summer make Vail their own collaborative community. It is closing night, so I have a few thank yous. First, foremost, and always, those extraordinary artists. Those dancers, musicians, choreographers, and composers who dream the unimaginable and are unimaginably brave and always astonish. I am so grateful to each and every one of you for your participation in the festival over these last years. I also want to thank the Vail Valley Foundation and our sponsors and presenters who make all of it possible, every last thing that we get to do. And a special thank you to our digital season underwriters, Jody and John Arnold. You power us this summer and always. Thank you, Jody and John. So this digital festival has been a look back, a retrospective, a way that we can actually see the progress of individuals, of art forms, and of the very nature of collaboration itself. And as we do look back, we also look forward. And I cannot wait to share with you together in person what we're going to make together in 2021. So I look forward to seeing all of you for all of the dancing next summer. But tonight, for closing night, we finish with two pieces that epitomize that collaborative spirit of the festival. We'll start with Carolina Shout, a pièce d'occasion from the 2019 festival, with music by James P. Johnson, played by the amazing pianist-composer Jason Moran. Jason is joined by two dancers who've made Vail their summer collaborative home for many years: the Memphis Juker, Little Buck, and the tap dancer, Michelle Dorrance. Together, the three of them, Jason, Buck, and Michelle, made this piece at the top of the mountain. And we're so happy to share it with you now. I'll be back after this for a conversation with Michelle leading into the final work of the festival. But for now, let me just say once again, welcome. I'm so glad to have you with us for closing night. So that was Carolina Shout with Michelle Dorrance, Little Buck, and the amazing music played by Jason Moran, composed by James P. Johnson. And now I'm really happy to welcome Michelle.
Hi, Damien.
Hey, Michelle, so great to have you joining us on this last night of the Vail Digital season. And you've been very featured throughout this festival. But tonight really embodies so much of the spirit, frankly, that you have brought to the festival. So thank you. And thank you for being here tonight to talk about this with me. And let's talk about Carolina Shout, and that mix that is so much what we hope for when we all arrive in Vail. With you and Buck and then Jason, getting together in a tent and making this.
I know, Damien, I was just thinking about the fact that I arrived at 4 a.m. due to various travel issues the night before the early morning rehearsal in the tent. Also the first year of the tent with Buck and Jason. Jason, who I've been a huge fan of course, forever, and Buck, who's just a constant inspiration. And you do this magical thing where you know what energies to pair and what artists to pair. And I think, we always just trust you. And of course I, live and die to collaborate with either of those two gentlemen. But, this particular piece was it was unique to anything we've ever done in Vail. And I was grateful for its relationship to my own tap dance and vernacular history and the legacy of that, and really all of our ancestors, the three of us and artistic ancestors. And I don't know, the push that it was to create it very quickly as per your Vail parameters.
Well, it's that possibility that you don't know what that kind of pressure might bring. But it was something that I had talked about with Jason specifically, like this idea as music as the driver. And you and Buck as consummate musicians of dance, essentially, and how this can actually come together in that space that's about, what we can do together, that we never could actually do by ourselves. And that was that moment. And, as you created the dance and, Jason drove in so many ways the engine in the center of the stage at the piano that drove you guys through, a series of things that have a lot of joy. But there's a lot more under that, and that's what emerged.
I think that that's something so unique about both Buck and Jason as artists, is that they have such a tremendous and immediate capacity for joy, and then also a tremendous depth that is both emotional and something that is other timely, really. And I think that's another important thing to acknowledge in the work, is that it lives in this particular canon of jazz tradition and Black tradition. And in honoring that, actually, of course, the tremendous expressions of joy, and also a little teeny nod at our version of the cakewalk, which historically, is a dance of enslaved people mocking the upper class, the whites of the day. And the whites fell in love with this dance, not knowing its origin, and made it their own, popularized it in their own realm. And I think this is such an appropriate and also important statement inside of a legacy that is so appropriated. And that Jason was also just explaining to us that this particular piece of music is a hallmark of achievement for pianists, and that it honors jazz legacy, vernacular legacy, and the rhythmic legacy.
It was the piece you had to play.
Yeah.
As a pianist in Harlem, that was the coming of age moment that you played this piece, the Carolina Shout, and put your stamp on it. And I remember Jason talking about his own challenge in that way. I'm going to put my stamp on Carolina Shout. And that was just last summer, 2019. You've been coming to Vail for a bunch of years, making new works. Always, a cast of characters that kind of put together, just possibility. I think I've told you I often think of Vail a little bit like Brigadoon. It's like the summer and people arrive, all these different types of dancers, different musicians, and, you're at the canteen, and then these performances develop. And there isn't a really right or wrong about it. It's about what we can do together. And I don't think there's a piece in our history at Vail that even comes close to that idea the way this next piece that we're gonna watch does, which was your first real full length, as it were, in Vail, and it's the circus.
Yeah. I mean, it's the circus. Yet another arriving and realizing what was ahead of me. And kind of, I don't know whether this was something that I dropped the ball on or whether I just didn't quite know the parameters of what that work was to be. But I remember getting there. I think I went to see LA Dance Project that night. I was excited. And just as an aside, you were like, oh yeah, you should be the entire second half of the premiere. So like, what? And so then I'm watching LA Dance Project while I feel guilty because they did such a tremendous performance, but also while brainstorming what this was going to be and what I saw while I was watching it, because when you're in the amphitheater, you also see the other artists there at intermission and you're sitting in the energy of the space and watching folks walk in, literally some people arriving and coming over at intermission. I mean, that's like, this is Vail. And seeing and just thinking of the grandeur of the environment, of what you bring there artistically, and the realms of possibility with each dancer and in each discipline, and how was all of that going to come together? The circus is the only way to describe it appropriately, but that it was truly a collaboration with Vail and you and every artist in the work.
Even drug me into it. I've got my crib video of you teaching me that pullback thing, and how I was going to somehow navigate this was the only time it's happened. It's just
oh, that's right, the soft shoe break. I just remembered what you're talking about. Oh, I love that break, Damien. It was what an honor.
It just brings together so many different dancers. It makes everybody tap dancing musician. Just it's all it could be, along with Brooklyn Ryder and Kate Davis
and Savannah
and Savannah Harris. That's right. So this is it, everybody. This is our last piece on the Vail Digital Festival. We seem to be more than one, which really is a good message for this time. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Damien.
it about? Maybe you ask where the blues had to go and pick you. So you go down to the shore, kid stuff. Don't you know there's honey in store for you? Let's take a ride on my gravy train. The doors open wide, coming from out of the rain. So you stay, I call it despair, maybe. Don't you care? I'm on the square about you. Let's have a try. It may be that you're my guy. Oh, let's take a ride on my gravy train. The doors open wide, coming from out of the rain. So you stare, call it despair, maybe. Don't you care? I'm on the square about you. Let's have a try. It may be that you're my guy.
If I said there's a way out there, there's a way out somewhere, the rest would come. What am I waiting for then, to say it, to believe it? What does that mean, the rest? Shall I answer? Try and answer, or go on as though I'd asked nothing? I don't know! I can't know beforehand, nor after, nor during. The future will tell, some future instant, soon or late. I won't hear. I won't understand. All dies so fast, no sooner born, and the yeses and nos mean nothing in this mouth. But there is reasoning somewhere. Moments of reasoning, that is to say, the same things recur. They drive one another out, they draw one another back. No need to know what things. It's mechanical, like the great colds, the great heats, the long days, the long nights of the moon. Such is my conviction, for I have convictions. When their turn comes round, then stop having them. That's how it goes, it must be supposed. At least it must be said, since I've just said it. I say to the body, off with you now, and I can feel it struggling like an old hack horse foundered in the street, struggling no more, struggling again, till it gives up. I say to the head, leave it alone. Stay quiet. It stops breathing. Then pants on, worse than ever. I should turn away from it all, away from the body, away from the head. Let them work it out between them. Let them cease. No, I can't. It's I would have to cease. Ah, yes, we seem to be more than one. Gathered together for life. Another said, yeah, the same or the first. Suddenly, no, at last. I couldn't anymore. I couldn't go on. Someone said, you can't stay here. I couldn't stay there, and I couldn't go on. I'll describe the place. That's unimportant. The top, very flat, of a mountain. No, a hill, but wild. So wild. Quag. A heath up to the knees, faint sheep tracks, troughs scooped deep by the rains. It was far down in one of these. I was lying out of the wind. Glorious prospect. But for the mist that blotted out everything. How can I go on? I shouldn't have begun. No, I had to begin. Someone said, perhaps the same, what possessed you to come? I could have stayed in my den, snug and dry. No, I couldn't. My den, I'll describe it. No, I can't. It's simple. I can do nothing anymore. That's what you think. the Hour, Mr. Charles, Little Buck Riley, Mr. Shelby, Ashton's Dorn, and Mr. Ron, Primetime Miles. All right, let's trade, Michelle. I'm just getting warmed up. All right. How about a little shim-sham, me and you count us in. She's ready to go. Ho! Uh-oh. Gentlemen. This is a Texas two-step with a Memphis juke field. All right, gentlemen, be back soon. Michelle! Oh, Michelle! It's slippery. Show us your slideys. Oh, here's the trio. You see Johnny Candlesman? Tap dancer. Drummer. Take us home, boys.